Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Did Sally say too much to Victoria about Billy? A Christmas confession that could change everything. Christmas Eve in Genoa City was supposed to be cozy, sentimental, and harmless. Twinkling lights, warm memories, a Charlie Brown-style tree trimmed with love, laughter, and just enough nostalgia to remind everyone why the holidays matter. But the Young and Restless rarely lets a sweet moment stay sweet for long, and this year's festive gathering may have planted the seeds for a much bigger emotional fallout. According to Y&R spoilers, Billy Abbott, Sally Spectra, and Victoria Newman found themselves sharing an unexpectedly intimate Christmas Eve. What began as a light-hearted holiday moment slowly shifted into something heavier, more revealing, and far more complicated than anyone anticipated. And at the center of it all, Sally Spectra's shocking decision to open her heart to Billy's ex-wife. An unexpected confessional on Christmas Eve. Sally Spectra isn't usually one to spill her deepest fears to just anyone. She's guarded, ambitious, and fiercely independent, which is exactly why her emotional outpouring to Victoria Newman felt so off. During the evening, as ornaments were placed and holiday cheer filled the room, the conversation took a turn. Sally, for reasons even she may not fully understand, began sharing deeply personal details about her past, particularly her childhood, and the emotional scars left by her father. Sally revealed that growing up as a Carney kid shaped her in ways she's still grappling with today. Her father's unreliability, his inability to truly be there for her, left wounds that never fully healed. It was raw, it was vulnerable, and it was startling, especially considering the audience she chose. Because instead of confiding in a trusted friend like Audra Charles, or even someone removed from the situation, Sally poured her heart out to Victoria Newman, Billy's ex-wife, on Christmas Eve. Let that sink in. When the past shapes the present. As Sally spoke, it became clear that her fears aren't just about her past, they're about her future with Billy. She admitted she cannot and will not allow Billy to fail her the way her father did. That fear runs deep. Billy isn't just her partner, he represents a test of everything she's tried to overcome emotionally: stability, trust, follow-through. But here's where things get complicated. Victoria, never one to shy away from the truth, asked a question that cut straight to the heart of the issue. Does Sally see Billy as a lover or a rescue project? It was bold, maybe even uncomfortable, but it was a fair question, and one Sally essentially invited by opening the door in the first place. That moment said everything. Why Victoria, and why now? Let's be honest, this wasn't casual soap dialogue. The Young and the Restless doesn't waste precious airtime on conversations that don't matter. So the real question isn't what Sally said, it's who she said it to. Why Victoria? Sally and Victoria don't share a deep friendship, they don't run in the same circles, and their connection is complicated by one undeniable fact: Billy. Victoria knows Billy better than almost anyone. She's lived through his highs, endured his lows, and watched his self-destructive tendencies up close. If Sally wanted validation or a warning, Victoria is the one person who could give it honestly. But there's another possibility fans can't ignore. Are the writers setting the stage for a Billy and Victoria revival? The optics of that Christmas Eve moment were impossible to miss. Billy, Victoria, their children, together, comfortable, almost natural. We don't see this often anymore, but when we do, it sparks something familiar, a reminder of the family they once were and the bond they still share. For longtime fans, it's impossible not to feel the nostalgia creeping in. Sally's confession may have been driven by pent-up emotion, but it landed in a place that feels intentional. What if this wasn't just about Sally's fear, but about testing the waters for something else? The show recently explored potential chemistry between Victoria Newman and Nate Hastings, but let's be real, it never fully clicked. Their pairing has failed before, and this latest attempt didn't ignite the spark producers may have hoped for. Which raises the question, are the powers that be quietly circling back to a tried and true dynamic? A love triangle waiting to explode? If Sally and Billy are already struggling with unspoken expectations and unresolved emotional baggage, adding Victoria into the mix could be disastrous. Sally doesn't want to rescue Billy. Victoria doesn't want to fix him, but both women know exactly who he is, and that knowledge creates tension whether anyone admits it or not. And let's not forget, Victoria didn't judge Sally. She listened. She asked hard questions. She showed understanding. Sometimes that's all it takes. Has Sally already said too much? Confiding in Billy's ex-wife on Christmas Eve isn't just awkward, it's risky. Sally may have exposed her deepest fears to the one woman who could either validate them or use them as confirmation that Billy hasn't really changed. If Billy senses that Sally views him as a project, or worse, a potential disappointment waiting to happen, it could fracture their relationship fast. And if Victoria starts to see Billy through softer eyes again, well, that door may already be cracked open. So where does this leave Genoa City? Are we watching the slow unraveling of Sally and Billy? Is Victoria being positioned as Billy's emotional anchor once again? Or was this simply a moment of holiday vulnerability that fans are reading too deeply into? Young and the Restless fans, it's time to weigh in. Do you think Sally crossed a line by confiding in Victoria? Is Billy capable of giving Sally the stability she needs? And are you really ready for Billy and Victoria to recommit to family life? Or has that chapter closed for good?